Yo, what up, y'all? It's your boy Switch. This is our second episode of the Chop Shop.
Let's go.
We got Jay with me today, and we got our special guest, Steve from RESALE DOJO.
Hey guys.
What's up, man?
Hey, how are you doing?
Good. He's a full-time eBay reseller. I discovered him on YouTube. You guys know that I've done like eBay reselling, real passive income. I'm not a full-time reseller, just on the side. And I'm always online looking for, tips and other individuals that are reselling online. So I came across Steve's page. I was amazed because he did like a challenge where he took $100 and transform that $100 into $1,000 profit. So after that, I started following him. I even hit up his Instagram. I DM'd him. I said, "Man, you're doing great work," and we're here right now, man. So what's up, Steve?
Not much. Just a nice Wednesday morning.
Now you're located in Phoenix, right?
Yeah, Phoenix.
Okay, so it's early for you. It's like 8 o'clock over there, right?
Yeah, 8:30 here.
Yeah. So with the challenge, what inspired that, like, to do the $100 challenge? And what was it? It was like take $100 and then turn it into $1,000, or let's see how much we can make. Was it something like that? I believe?
It was to take $100, turn it into $1,000 profit, like just generate $1,000 profit over whatever period of time. And it was really to just show anyone that you can make money just flipping items that you're finding, whether it's at home, garage sales, thrift stores, wherever, just any way to like make money. Right. Especially at that time, I did that. I think the first episode was like Halloween, the afternoon of Halloween. Yeah. So like I had some time. I'm like, okay, I'll start it now. And just quick way for people to make some money, especially like going into holidays and stuff. And it eventually turned out to be like 5 weeks to do that. But that was even with me not going hard on that challenge. It took 5 weeks. Yeah. Right. So you took the $100 and in 5 weeks you turned it into $1,000 profit. I think it was a little bit more than 1,000, right? It was like, yeah, it was over 1,000. It was $1,000 total profit that I generated. But at the end, at that point in time, I had $500 in hand and $3,000 of inventory. So like I still had a lot, like overall the stuff generated probably like $3,000 of profit for me. Wow.
Crazy. So what, my question is, what motivated you to, I guess, start this eBay journey? Like, obviously last year, everybody was affected in one way or another, where, people lost their jobs, and they needed to find some sort of extra income. Now, is that something that occurred with you, or you were just like, what, I'm tired of, a 9-to-5 and I'm going to go all in on this?
Yeah, I had lost my job actually a year before the pandemic. So my job, like my company, like cut like 25 people like all in one day. Oh wow. And then so I was caught off guard with that. And so I had been watching random like reseller videos before that time. And so I knew like it was something I wanted to do, but I just wasn't doing it. And so by having that happen to me, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go try it because I got nothing to do right now until I find a new job. So you can't just keep applying like 24 hours a day. So I wanted something to do to keep me busy. And I wanted to see if it worked. Like, I want to see, like, what is everyone saying out there? Like, does it work? Does it not? And just really see, like, can I make some money from it? And after like looking for jobs and seeing that, like, the jobs that were out there, the ones I was interviewing for were ones that like I didn't have a passion for, something I didn't really want to do. I decided, like, I want to just take like the experience that I had from the corporate life and just do something that's fun. And so I was able to take like a lot of the stuff that I'd been doing previously and kind of like incorporate it in different parts of the business and just really just do it whenever I wanted to, have my own business and and just do it. So after 6 months of doing it, like looking for jobs and doing reselling on the side, like I talked to my wife. I'm like, are you okay with me doing this? And she was, yeah. And because she saw how much money I was starting to make, and she's like, yeah, you just gotta, keep building it and we'll be fine. So
nice.
That's how it started.
That's great when you have a mate that's supportive like that too.
Definitely.
And they'll be like, nah, man, that ain't no real job. Get a real job.
Yeah, I'll show her numbers every so often. She's like, I did not know you were anywhere near that.
So now you've been reselling for what, 3 years now, is it?
2 years. 2 years since I lost my job, but I had been on eBay since 2005. I was flipping sports cards before people hyped it up now.
Oh, okay.
And everything. So I was buying and selling it. It was mainly more for collecting myself, but I was also flipping at that time. And then I took off eBay for 8 years. Had family stuff and just never got back to it. And then with this, it got me back into it. So it was nice to have something that I knew a little bit about, but didn't know how far I could go into.
Yeah. Nice. Did you, so how long did it take for you to actually become a full-time reseller? I know you said you got laid off, right? Mm-hmm. And what you were doing, collecting unemployment kind of thing, or?
Yeah. And here in Phoenix or Arizona, unemployment is so low. It's 200, and after they take out everything, it's $205 a week. So it's nothing. So it's I need to make something just start in case that runs out, that I'm because even the 800 was nothing a month. So I needed to make something. So I was just doing that. And yeah, I was I wasn't paying myself at all at that time. I was just saving everything that I got from it and just reinvesting in inventory. And after 6 months, that was around the time unemployment was ending. And I'm I told me and my wife were just go ahead and do it. Cause I was already at $4,000 in sales, I think, at that time. And that was just going into the Christmas season. So yeah, just keep bumping it up. I was just setting goals of how I was going to keep growing it. And then, a lot of resellers got lucky with the pandemic when it comes to everything. All e-commerce went crazy. So I was glad I already had that base going into it. And this last year has been just nuts with sales as well.
Nice.
What made you pick eBay? I know you said, back in 2005, 2006, but what made you pick eBay versus, let's say, Amazon? Because a lot of people kind of tend, even myself included, I sell on eBay, I drop ship on eBay, obviously not crazy amounts, right? But it seems like more people like the Amazon model a little more, with the private labeling or whatever the case is, versus eBay. Because even I haven't bought something from eBay in a very long time. Everything's always Amazon, right?
Yeah.
So is eBay kind of the hidden type of, I don't even know what to call it, but yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of it's I guess it's kind of a surprising platform that's still flourishing that's out there. It's the second biggest online marketplace to Amazon. Amazon by far dwarfs it. But to be able to buy and sell stuff on eBay, it's a lot easier to do it. It's a lot easier for sellers to put stuff up and for you to look for something that you may not necessarily find on Amazon, especially for collectors. A lot of collectors will go to eBay on there because you can interact with the seller and stuff a lot easier when it comes to it. For sellers, it's a lot easier to get stuff up there because there's not as many restrictions when it comes to it. So it's that part is a lot more open than when it comes to Amazon. Amazon, the volume that you can move if you get in there is insane, and the velocity of that product moves is insane on there. But there are a lot more restrictions to get in there. If you want to do books, you could get in there super easy. But if you want to sell toys, right, you have to go through hurdles unless you were selling like years and years and years ago and they like unlocked you in there.
Yeah, because there's certain items that are gated, right, in
Yep.
Amazon.
A
And
lot of them.
also like you're like thrifting is a little easier than just, you know, you gotta like I feel like Amazon has a lot of stuff from China, right? Like Chinese stuff and people
Mhm.
just reselling it. And you need more capital for that, right? Like you need
Mhm.
probably tons and tons of capital to really start
Definitely.
moving stuff. And then there's a waiting process, right? Because you got to wait for the stuff to get shipped to you or delivered to Amazon's warehouse. Where in eBay, you just go to the thrift store today and you can sell the item today. You know, you just
Mhm.
take a picture on your phone and just upload it, and boom, you know, it can sell today or it can sell in a couple weeks whenever it sells.
Mhm.
So
Definitely. Yeah, it's definitely more, if you really want to do Amazon, it's more capital intensive. You also have smaller margins when it comes to it. Like if someone was starting off now and we're doing like a hard good item, I would say do eBay just to understand what e-commerce is. And because you can hold the product yourself, you're holding the product yourself, you're understanding like how everything goes through every step in the chain. And then once you start building up your capital base, then look at what you could do with Amazon on there. And that's actually what I'm doing. Like I've been just building up money on the side to do Amazon, and that's eventually what I'll have a secondary source going there on
nice.
Amazon.
Are you trying to do private label, or are you still going to do like retail arbitrage type of thing?
I'll do retail arbitrage at this time. I want to do retail and online arbitrage scenarios, whether it's new or used product. I'll look at going, you know, the Target and Walmart flip to Amazon, or do thrift stores for used stuff on there, especially like video games. I need to get unlocked on DVDs. That's the one thing I have so much I could put in Amazon, but I need to get unlocked, ungated in DVDs, and that's the one that I would really like to get ungated on, because I know there's some that can make some really good money on there.
So so looking at your channel, I was really shocked to see that you've made a lot of money selling DVDs. Like I didn't think people would be buying DVDs like that, you know?
Yeah, it's shocking, right? It's you don't think with all the streaming platforms out there that anyone would be buying DVD, but for a lot of them, especially the ones that sell really good, they're not offered on any of the streaming platforms. So whenever like they're not on, especially like Netflix, the value of them just goes up. And you could see like when a show maybe comes back to like network cable, like in reruns, how much the price drops on them as well. So it's really just like knowing like what's out there and available to people at that time. And like there's so much. Like I didn't start at DVDs either. Like I started mainly video games, and then I did some hard goods, and then I went clothing because there was nothing else for me to like source at times. I'm like, I didn't know what I was doing. And so I do like clothing and shoes. And then the light came on. I'm like, look at DVDs. And I decided to look at those because they're right next to the video games at most thrift stores. But I decided to look at them, and I was shocked by how much some of them goes. Now there's a lot of garbage ones out there. It's a lot of hunting for it. But like when you find some good ones, it's just insane.
And you inspired me because I saw you on YouTube talking about video games and DVDs. I actually started going to Goodwill, because in Goodwill you can get DVDs 99 cents, $2, and people will pay $30+ or maybe even 25. But the shipping is super dirt cheap because you're just putting it in a little envelope and you're shipping it out. So your profit margins are pretty high if you sell a lot. You know, you got 4 DVDs you're selling a day, you're probably making $100. You know what I'm saying? So you inspired me because I didn't even think about it. I'm like DVDs. And then I started looking at VHSs. I sold one the other day that was like wrapped up and sealed, $30. I'm like, especially the workout VHS wrapped up. The workout stuff, man. They go crazy over those workout DVDs and VHSs.
I mean, that makes sense because of, you know, everything that's been going on. But VHS?
Yeah.
That's crazy. Wow.
Yeah. I was super inspired. So when you Steve, when you started out, how many hours were you putting in to source? Was
Mhm.
it like, because that scheduling, right? You have to go out, source, and not every store is going to be a hit. From my experience, right? I go to some stores and it's dry, and it's like, I just spent whatever, an hour, 2 hours here. Let me
Mhm.
go hit the next Goodwill or whatever thrift shops are close. And then some thrift shops are farther, right? And they got
Mhm.
more
Mhm.
better stuff, but you got to travel 40 minutes, maybe an hour.
Definitely.
So what is like that, like your scheduling? How many hours were you spending to build up your business?
Yeah. Yeah. When I started, just because I just had time to waste when it came to it. I was sourcing probably every like 5 days a week for like 4 hours. Just because like I didn't know like what I didn't know at that time. like how much like the thing with reselling is like you just gain like this library of knowledge over time. Like every time you look up something, scan something, or sell something, you just it's another piece that you're able to take and use going forward. So at the beginning, it was a lot of sourcing for not much product when it came to it, and really understanding, and probably not even as profitable as it should have been. But over time, it like really grew, and I learned to get more efficient. So as I understood which stores worked best for me, had like categories that worked best for me, I started to make routes. And so like now I'll still source. Like right now I'm probably sourcing 2 to 3 days a week.
Oh, wow.
Some days I'll do like full day. Like I'll do, because like I drop off my son in the morning and I pick him up after school. So I'll source from like 10 to 4, just, and I probably wouldn't even go that long, except like I just need to go to a certain amount of time and be in a certain place in the city to pick them up. So like I'll go, like generally like I'll go 4 hours if it was right. 4 hours, 3 days a week is probably where I do based on my route. And that's still not that much. Like some people I know will hunt for, 6 hours a day, but they're going and hunting like $100 items. They're like, I'm only going to be looking for like $100 items, and that's all I'm going to grab. And I'm fine with leaving everything else, and
Yeah.
they're just going for the high end stuff.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Briefcase.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Briefcase says, y'all giving for game. Thank you. Mason says HMG Creative, then we know him as Mason. The bidding feature on eBay hits different also. Do y'all allow bids on items or allow customers to buy outright? So for me, I do buy it now all the time for everything.
Me too.
I don't do bids.
Same. Yeah, I do buy it now for everything. A lot of stuff majority of my stuff I don't even put best offer on. Just because
really?
I feel comfortable with where I'm pricing it. When I first started, everything had best offer, and you just get insane low balls all the time on it.
Yeah.
But now stuff that I want to clear out, I'll put best offer on, and I'll drop the price, put best offer. And if I really want to clear it out, like old clothes that I have from when I started, old shoes that haven't been there, like I'll throw that up on auction, put it at whatever the lowest price I'm willing to take as a starting point, and then just put it up there to clear it out.
Yeah.
That's the only time right now. I see auctions as if you're clearing stuff out, or you got like a really hype item, like stuff that the market's going crazy for, like any sports card stuff right now.
They're going real crazy.
I mean, for the past few months, sports cards have gone insane, and then you have the Pokemon cards and all these other stuff, and it's just like, I remember this stuff from my childhood, and I was like, I wish I kept a lot of it, by now probably.
It's been so crazy, like with people trying to get them from like Target and Walmart, that Target right now limits you to one a day, right?
I'm that guy.
It's like one item a day now or something like
for
that.
Sports cards?
Yeah, sports cards and Pokemon. They moved it all behind their customer service desk. It's one a day, and I think they even said, I just saw yesterday that they're only selling them on like Friday. So it's like, it's to even like limit like the effort that they have to do of like
Yeah.
handling like the hordes of people coming in for them.
Because people were lining up, and then what happens is sometimes you get lucky because the truck doesn't come on time, and you're strolling in 1 p.m. to go to Target just to buy whatever, and then you see, oh man, they got all these cards here.
Yep.
That's how I got lucky a few times, because I have a
Yeah.
Target that's close by, and I was like, oh cool. Now, Steve, do you have like old cards that you're still selling right now? Is that?
I got some up. I need to really put some. I got some ones I should be putting up right now just to make some money, and but like some of them like are like personal collection. Like I could make like some really good money on old like Bulls stuff I have. I've like graded like Pippen rookies and stuff like that. Like
Oh, cool.
I have like Jordan autographs that I've collected in the past, but like I'm like those I wouldn't put up. I've just like whittled down certain collections that like I'm like, okay, I don't care about these. Like I collected like a full like UFC autograph set from like the very first UFC set that came out.
Wow.
And
How much
I
is
held
that
on
worth?
to that for like 10 years.
And how much is that thing worth right now?
I sold it. I sold that one like maybe 9 months ago, and I got like I think it was like 1,200 for that one.
Wow.
On there. Yeah, it was one that I just pieced together like 12 years ago, something like that, is for fun. When I was really watching a ton of UFC at that time, like the first, or it was the second wave of guys really when it came to it. But yeah, like I really need to. It's like instant inventory if I decided to go into my collection right now.
Yeah. What's
Brique says the sports NFTs, and I know eBay announced, I believe it was this week, that they were going to do some stuff with NFTs. So what do you think about?
I saw that.
Yeah, what do you think?
I still haven't gotten to NFTs yet. Like that's like the next thing to look at. Like I'm still just kind of watching that and seeing like how it plays out.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's everyone's into it now, and so that's where I'm trying to see like, does it water itself down, or does it like still keep going? Yeah, like I'm watching to see the trends right now before I really jump in.
Yeah.
It says my fam has a ton of sports cards from the last few decades. It's just intimidating to go through.
Yeah, it's a lot if you don't know it. Like if you're gonna sell them and it's from like a family member, I would like sit down with the family member and decide, like have them go through and go like, hey, what do you think is valuable? Pull those off to the side and then look them up and research them and see. The main thing right now is like condition, because everyone's like grading them, and that's the big jump like over the last few years, is how much grading of cards has gone, and the prices have skyrocketed on those. So I would just research it, grab a dozen of them and see what they look like, try them out.
And it's a process, right, with the PSA, right? Because you have to like, you could either pay monthly or pay per card, and you have to ship them out, and it takes it can take like up to 3 months, 2 months to really
it's way long now. Like I think right now, like they only have like one tier available, and it's like 6 months or something like that. Like people are waiting super long when it comes to it. Like, yeah, I remember like back in the day where you could go and you could submit like all your cards for like, and it's like $5 a card or something like that, and get in like 2 weeks. It was like insane. You could do a bulk submission and get them. But now everyone's grading them because they're just hoping for it, to be hyped up and get a quick.
Because you can have a Michael Jordan card, right? But if it's not graded, it's only worth what? A couple bucks, $10, $12, $20.
Yeah, they're all the grading is just insane. Like years ago, like graded cards would get a premium, but not like what they are today. It's just nuts.
Now, one thing I noticed, because I've done the drop shipping, right? I've done retail arbitrage, which I would go to like Marshall's and Burlington and all that. But one thing I noticed about thrifting is your ROI is amazing. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like the other day I paid $8 and I have a potential to make $150 off of those items. I think I sold one of the items out of that. So Is that one of the reasons why you like stick to the thrift stores? Is it because the return on the investment is so large where it covers your taxes, it covers your income, it covers everything compared to drop shipping where let's say you make 20,000 in sales, but you're only getting what 10% of that after fees and everything else? Is that kind of why thrifting is like your main thing?
Definitely, yeah. It's low risk when it comes to it. Like you said, you could go to a store and if you have even if it's like you're going there and you find like 5 items, you may have spent like $15, but you could resell it for 100, 150 when it comes to it, and that allows me to make mistakes when it comes to the business, especially when you're starting out. It gives you that buffer room to make mistakes, and I've just liked it. Like I've gotten into a routine of how I'm sourcing, and then going through all my processes to list and sell and ship out and all that stuff. So I've gotten that down. So, but I've just got into like a comfort and a groove with it where it just is, I'd like to still do that even if I go into like heavier into like retail, online arbitrage, because it's, you could make really good returns. And there's also a lot of fun of just hunting the stuff down when it comes to it as well.
You gotta enjoy that, because I tell my wife and my dad, and I'm like, they're like, oh yeah, I want to make some money. I'm like, yeah, you could sell on eBay just like me. Go here. And they're like, no, I don't have the patience and the energy for that. Me, I'm like, I love it. Like once I find something and discover it, I'm like, oh my goodness, look at this. This is worth this much. Wow, that's crazy. I know in the beginning, right, when I first started selling, which was in 2015, I went to like this place and they had like dollar item stuff. And I thought that, oh, I'm going to just sell it for like, a certain amount. Right. Now me and like after experience, what's the most important thing when it comes to searching items?
For me, I always look at the sell-through rate on stuff to see like how quickly it's moving. Especially if it's like a new item to myself. Like I'll look and see how quickly should I expect a flip on there, and then I'll look at how much money I'm making. So those two things are going hand in hand really with me, of like how quickly can I move it, and then how much is my expected return when it comes to it.
Right. Because it's important for y'all to know that it's not just what is listed for, what everybody's listing it for, but what it's sold for. Because sometimes you think, oh, I got this dollar item, I can flip it and get $50 and it looks nice and it looks vintage in your eyes, but in reality, it's not selling for as much as you think it is.
Yeah, and there may be the last time it sold was like, a couple months back.
Yeah. You may have one sold, but there's like 50 of them listed.
Right. Yeah.
And then the high one may be like $50 it's selling for. Someone has it like crazy price, but the majority are like $6. And you're like, that's you got to look at like, just how the market is playing out.
Yeah. What was I gonna ask?
Well, while you gather your thoughts, Mason says, I got 1776 silver, $10 coins I'm sitting on. Well, I mean, silver has gone up a bit in the recent months.
This was my question. So do you ever have an item that you find, you haven't seen anything sold on it, right? But you'll probably be the only one, right? Or it did sell, but like kind of what Jay said, there's no other competition right now in the market. It did sell maybe once or twice for a good amount of money. Would you invest in something like that? Would you say, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and go for it? Or would you
I have a couple right now. like DVD sets. Like I found this one from Australia. It's like an Australian TV show, and I found the full set over 2 days. It was like 8 different seasons. Like one store I went to, they had 2 seasons, and I went there the next day and they had the other 6. We just decided to
the chances of that.
And I knew I was going to make some good money after finding the first two. I was looking at them individually. It seemed like okay, but it's so rare to find them here in the U.S. All the other copies are from Australia and they're with their region code. So like if you don't know DVDs, like region code 1 is what's for US and Canada to be able to play on our DVD players. But if there's like other region codes throughout the world for you to be able to play DVDs and Blu-rays in those areas. So I had the only complete set when it comes to right now. I have the only complete set of those DVDs in the US for region code 1. You could buy them from Australia, but you'd have to buy also a DVD player that plays it from there as well. So I'm just like sitting on my price. I just put a high price and I'm just gathering watchers right now. I also found another weird item and I still have to research to find out what I want to price it at. I found for $7, I found this big lens. It's like almost the size of my head. And from what I could tell, it is from World War II Japanese plane that was used for map making. So it was like on the bottom of the plane because it's like this wide. The lens is like that wide. So it was used for like cartography. And I've only just from looking at it, I've only found like 2 websites that kind of mention what it is. And like, it looks like there's only like 600 that were ever made. So that's one that like, I need to like do like additional research on, but from talking to a few other resellers, one was able to like find that 4.5 years ago, it like sold. He was able to go through like whatever, all the cookies and stuff and everything that was stored. Like he was able to find, he showed me the old auction. It sold for like a smaller version of it sold for like $450.
Oh,
so
wow.
I need to go to like some auction houses and like do the research on it, but I'll be like the only one. So I'm like, I knew this thing looked rare. Like I couldn't find any comps when I bought it, like nothing, but I'm like, it's just huge. I've never seen a lens that big. I know it doesn't go in like a regular camera, and I'll just take a chance on it and see.
For sure. What's the most you've ever made profit on an item?
Well, my UFC set for sure would probably be there.
Okay.
But that's more personal collection. I've had some like crazy DVD sets that have gone for like $300-$400 when it comes to it. Yeah, like the Australian one right now, I think I have it like, I can't remember if I have it $400 right now listed. The only one that was been listed and sold before went for $300. So I just put it up because there's no one else out there that could do it. So yeah, there's a lot of different ones out there.
That's good. The most I've ever made is like $150 on an item.
Well, that's good, man.
I know, for sure.
Yeah, I'll take 150 all the time. Yeah,
absolutely.
Now so Steve, you have a plethora of different prices, right? Because you don't only go for high price items, but you also take stuff that's $24, right? Is there a certain amount of profit that you're looking for? Like you're saying, the lowest I'll take is like $10 profit or $20 profit of each item. Do you have like a certain standard when it comes to that?
Yeah, it really depends on how quickly I think an item's going to sell. So for DVDs, I have right now the lowest that I'll sell, like, because I generally could get a DVD for about $1 here, a single DVD. And so the lowest that I want to be able to sell it for is $12.95 for me. And that would give me, I've calculated it's like $6 profit for that. So if I could turn 1 into 6 pretty quickly, I'm fine with that, because for me, processing DVDs are super easy. Right. And if I know it's going to sell within a month or 2, then I'm fine sitting on it. Video games is like the same way as well, but I just have a little bit higher because it's like generally here it's like $3 to get it. And so I'm like, okay, I need to be at least 15. Okay. But ideally I'm looking like $20 and up for most of my stuff when it comes to DVDs and video games. It's just really, if it turns quick, I'll be fine with it. 'Cause I want to make ideally $10 an item. 'Cause I want to make ideally $10 an item. 'Cause I want to make ideally $10 an item. 'Cause I want to make ideally $10 an item. 'Cause I want to make ideally $10 an item. 'Cause I want to make ideally $10 an item. 'Cause I want to make ideally $10 an item. 'Cause I want to make ideally $10 an item. 'Cause I want to make ideally $10 an item. 'Cause I want to make ideally $10 an item. 'Cause I want to make ideally $10 an item. 'Cause I want to make ideally $10 an item. 'Cause I want to make ideally $10 an item. 'Cause I want to make ideally $10 an item. 'Cause I want to make ideally $10 an item. 'Cause I want to make ideally $10 an item. 'Cause I want to make ideally $10 an item. 'Cause I want to make ideally $10 an item. 'Cause I want to make ideally $10 an item. 'Cause I want to make ideally $10 an item. 'Cause I want to make ideally $10 an item. 'C when it comes to everything.
Now, I was hearing online, I'm in a couple of like Facebook groups. They were complaining about the media mail, that there was like people were losing their media mail items, or USPS was like messing up. Have you had that, like with USPS, you ship something out and then it gets lost? Like, how do you handle those situations?
I've, out of all my sales, and I'm selling like 350 items a month, about, like, I'm shipping out for eBay, and a lot of them are media mail, a lot are first class, some priority. I've only had 2 items lost.
Oh, okay.
One was a priority. One was like a camera. So I had like insurance on that. It wasn't expensive. It was like a $50 camera or something like that, but it went priority. So I got that back. And another one was some toner that went to Guam.
Oh wow!
Like it's like it's still sitting there. Like it still wasn't delivered after like a month. Like it made its way through the process. It's in Guam, but doesn't show delivered or anything. And I'm like, I'll just give you a refund. It's like $24. Take it. Like,
I don't want to deal with it.
Yeah, I don't want you to like give me a negative just because of something. Like, even though it's like out of my hands, like it should be there or should make its way to you. I'm like, I don't care. But with everything with the pandemic, everyone buying more online, shipping times just went crazy, like for how long it would take to get there. And media got affected the most just because it was already lowest priority when it comes to the postal service, because like first class a lot of times will be like 3 to 5 days to get there. Media is like 10 to 12 for a lot of items. And so I was having a lot where it was getting pushed out, like it'd be like a month until it got delivered to someone. But most people are fine. Like I'd get a comment, like someone would message me and be like, "Hey, I haven't received it yet." I'm like, you just let them know, "Hey, what's going on?" and let them know that we'll keep tracking it. And if it doesn't show up, like I tell them, like, if it doesn't show up, I'm still gonna give you your money back. Don't worry about it, but just be patient, wait it out. But
customer service.
Yeah, I've only had those two that have gone missing out of all of my sales.
So you're selling, you said about 350 items a month, and you have how many items listed?
I have right now, I'm almost at 900 right now. I was like 1100, but it just like whittled down.
Yeah, everything just started.
Over the last couple months, it like really went down, like, and I just haven't been able to keep up. But I've also just got a little more picky. Like I've upped like those levels of where I was selling at on there as well, and stuff of like, hey, maybe I would have bought that before and I'd be willing to clean that disc and fix it or something. But now I'm like, okay, I'll pass on that and not worry about it. And I'll go look for a different item. But yeah, like I try to flip right now my inventory every 3 months is my goal.
Nice.
Just to churn through it.
Do you have any shipping hacks, like with items? Like, for example, here in New York, right? If you wanted something the next day, you'd want to pay, FedEx Express. But what most people don't know is if you ship ground, you'll get it the next day as well. So you'll save money there. So is there anything like that, that you've experienced?
Really, it's just taking advantage of that media mail. Like for me, like, I think a lot of people don't realize when they're first starting like to sell with like DVDs and CDs and stuff like that, like everyone is used to shipping first class and just being able to save the money via media mail on there, because it's $2.89 up to £1 when it comes to it. And if you're shipping first class, if you're used to shipping like games and other stuff in first class, like you maybe get like a game would be going like $4.50 or something like that, depending on if you're going across country and it's a little heavier. You may be getting up to like $5.89, $6 or something on some of them going cross country if it's getting close to that £1. So that's like the main thing, like how it's like hidden profit in there. Because if you're thinking of everything first class, you're like, okay, I got this variable rate going in there, and this item could go for $2.89 for £1, or if it's a heavier, like this set, like the eight season set that I have, like it's going to be like £5, but it's going to cost me like $5 to ship that thing plus insurance that I'll throw on there because it's expensive, but it's so much more like profit that you could get because you're not like bleeding on shipping.
Yeah. Now you also you print directly from eBay, right? Like you have your printing machine or your label printer. You have your scale at home, right? I'm pretty sure.
I got all that stuff.
Because USPS sometimes they can be like, oh, this is more than what it's supposed to be, right? But that makes it easier for you because you can just go to USPS, drop off the items, right? And then you're good to go. You don't have to wait online like everyone else, right?
Definitely. And you save money because eBay has negotiated rates with the post office. So if you go into the post office, you're going to pay more going up there. And especially, I think, I can't remember, is it first class or media? One of them is like on eBay, it goes up to £1. But if you go to the post office, it's up to like 12 ounces or something like that. Like the cutoff is different for it. So you'll get hit there and eBay has a better rate for you. So like it's like if you have like a printer at home already, like just a regular inkjet printer, like that's how I started. I started with the inkjet printer. And then I bought a $20 scale off of Amazon and I'm still using it. I haven't had any issues, haven't had any chargebacks on like weights being off or anything like that. Just a nice $20 scale and some tape and you could ship anything from home. It's really easy.
Do you have a website where you get like your shipping supplies, like your bubble wrap, your boxes?
Dollar Tree.
Yeah. I get real cheap, like especially because I ship so many DVDs and video games. I'll get real cheap 6x9 bubble mailers on eBay. I think in like my shipping video, I may have put a link to it in there of like how I ship them. But I buy like 250 at a time for like, I think now the price has gone up. I think it's like $35 for 250, like on Amazon. So it's really cheap for that. I used for a while, like for a year, I was getting for like $25 for 250. It was like insanely cheap.
Yeah.
From these guys. But other supplies I get, I just buy my tape at Walmart. I get like an 8-pack for like $9 at Walmart. And then boxes and like a bigger bubble mailer, I will use my coupon code from eBay. So if you have an eBay store, every quarter you get a coupon code from them that you can use on their shipping supplies. And so you could get tape from there as well. So like every quarter I get $50 credit. And so I'll apply that to whether it's like bigger bubble mailers that hold thicker sets or 8x6x4 boxes. Those are the ones that I generally be buying.
Jimmy, our co-host, says I think it's Uline is the plug for shipping products.
They are, but they're a little bit more pricey boxes, sometimes.
I'd go Uline.
Yeah, for sure. Staying on the shipping topic, in this world of Prime, 2-day shipping and all that stuff, have you had any problems with certain eBay members like, hey man, this is taking too long type of deal within the United States, of course? Yeah,
I've had a few, but like most of them are just like, hey, it's not here. Like you'll get like the random of like, hey, why haven't you shipped it yet? Why isn't it here? And you're like, you ordered it like 5 minutes ago. Yeah. I'm not hand delivering it and you don't live in my town, so like calm down. But like most of them like hey, I'll just state like if like they just ordered it and they haven't seen me ship it yet, I'm like, hey, I ship it next business day. Like that's my structure that I have it, but like that doesn't count weekends. Like weekends not a business day. So like if someone orders like Friday night, like I'm not shipping until Monday morning. But that's usually they'll complain when someone's like probably bought it like late for a gift and like, hey, can you get out? And if they're like, hey, I just bought it, like I know you're not gonna ship it till Monday, can you ship it earlier? I'll do it for them. I'll still do it for them. Like I don't care. Like I'll still do it. Like I'm already going there 5 days a week to the post office. 6 days, not a big deal for me. But like some will say like, hey, where it's at. But once you explain it to them, like, hey, like this is where I see it. I'll tell them like, hey, here's your tracking number. This is where I've seen it last scan. Let's just keep an eye out on it, and we'll see how it goes. Like it's just all customer service to it. Like that's a big part that people don't realize. You think you're just gonna put it up there and sell it, and you're never going to hear from people again, but you just be nice to them and they're usually fine. Like I've never had a person that like will left a negative because of late shipping or anything like that.
Right. That's good stuff, man. What about your storage, right? You have 900 items.
Yeah.
Are you like storing it in your home? You're storing it in another storage place? Is that also a cost that's on top of everything else that you're doing?
Yeah, it's in my house right now. I have
Okay.
everything in my house. We have a spare bedroom, and
Nice.
I have it in there, but it's spilling out.
Your wife's
I
like,
need-
your stuff is in the hallway.
yeah, it's all over the place now. I was actually looking at storage this week. I was looking at a few because like here in Phoenix, like I have a garage, but it gets like 120 in the summer, so that's not like good for media. So I'm like the next month or so, I'm looking at what can I possibly put in my garage. Like I have like bins of old clothes, like what other stuff like would not be affected by temperature that could go out there. But I really need to probably get like a 10 by 10 storage unit just with like they'll hold like bigger items. Like I need like I sell like a lot of electronics as well. So like DVD combo units just like take up space. I got like board games and stuff like that and puzzles that are sealed that just take up space. It's just volume. And that's the stuff I would probably put there because I know it's a little bit slower. It still moves pretty well for me, but it'd be slower than like, hey, I listed and it's gone the next day, like some DVDs and games that I got.
Yeah. And that must be hard to sort through too, because I have 2 bins, right? I don't have 900 items. I have way less items. But there are times where I'm like, where the heck did I put this thing at? Like, I can't find it in the bins. There's too much clothes or whatever on top. And I'm like going crazy. Do you like label them to know, okay, I got to go to A, container A or bin B or whatever?
Yeah. All my bins are labeled. So I have like, I started like AO1, AO2, AO3. I think I have like 12 or 14 bins, something like that when it comes to it and that's just for clothing. So those are hold the clothes. I have like a shoe bin as well. So I have that labeled. Then I know certain bins will be like, hey, this is where I put all my toner. This is where I put electronics, like small electronics, DVDs. I have sorted by genre. So I know if I have a DVD set, like TV show sets, it goes here. If I have English DVDs, they go here. If I have anime, they go in this section. So I know where to look for all of them. And same for video games. I divide up all my video games based on what console it goes on.
Nice.
Yeah, it makes it a lot easier. Like before, like when I was doing clothing and stuff, I had everything in like 2 boxes. And so every time I got an order, I'm like ruffling through, I'm pulling it all out. I'm like, and I'm probably missing it. It's in between another item. And I'm like, this is not the way to do it.
That's me.
It's so much easier once you do it. Cause then you could put in eBay, there's a custom SKU as well. So when you drop it in one of your bins, you put it in the custom SKU when you're listing it. And it doesn't show that to the buyer. It's just for you for when you pull in it. So
I'm getting free game right now. Look at that.
Question on titling and like description and like I guess searchability, right? Because when I'm listing dropship items, usually I'll put the item, whatever it is, Canon or Apple, whatever the case is, and then what I'll do is I'll take the first couple listings. And I take I click on it and I click sell an item like this. So that
sell
way,
similar.
Yeah, sell similar. So is that like? I was like, they're on the top page. I want to be. Not top page, but the top of the results. I kind of want to be there too. So I figured, if I like piggyback off of that, then I would sell more. Which I've seen that does work rather than me typing it out. Trying to title it myself. So is that like a little hack or?
Yeah, I do that for everything. I'll sell similar off of everything. I'll scan or look up an item. I'll go to the solds and I'll see like which one sold the best and do I like how that description is laid out, and I'll pick based on like how much they're getting for it, and then also does the description make sense like to a buyer on there, and if it feels like it has enough information, I'll copy that, maybe tweak like one or two little things. But I rarely will ever touch anything within the description after that for them, like especially for DVDs and games. Like you don't have to like touch anything other than the description repeating itself or the title that repeating the description. And I'll just go with that. I'll just run with the sell similar and get it up there as quick as possible.
Interesting. So you use the what's been sold as your like gauge, but I've always been used just whatever the search results give me. So that's
I do the same with the what's sold. And I use their title, and I might add some stuff that they didn't add or whatever.
I even pick listings that have like the stars on them, because some listings don't have it for some reason, and some do. And I've been picking those, and I've been seeing results with that. So I don't know if that affects or not.
Yeah. Like I think the eBay algorithm, like for if it likes, like if it sees that like a listing is sold like one way, and like especially titles, it likes to pick up those same ones over and over and over again. So like especially like if you've sold, like if you have like 5 of an item, it like rewards you for your first sale. It'll like bump you with like more traffic to get you like your second one, if like you did, especially if you moved it pretty quick. And if you sold 2, then it's gonna like push you even harder. So that's why I try to use titles that look like, I try to use the same title that I see it's common to sell out there, because it's the algorithm likes it.
Now that's a good question. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, what about? I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm cheating, but sometimes I'll only have one of this item, but I'll put like I have 5, and then you know how sometimes it'll say 1 item sold or like 1 left or something like that, like to kind of push me up on the ranking. I mean, I don't know.
Well, you're doing drop shipping, right? So
right. Yeah, I'm doing drop
if it's drop shipping, you're gonna probably be able to find another source to get the extras. But like for me, I have like usually 1 of whatever I have, so I can't do it, because if 2 of them sold, then I'm gonna get dinged for it, and I can't find it quick unless I did buy it from someone else and drop shipped it to someone.
Now, do you ever like do a what do you call that? The sponsor stuff, like you pay for
the promoted listings. Yeah, I have usually about 2% on most of my items, just to get the bump. Like I found that it really helps you out to have it.
Really?
And for mine, like since I have such like really good margins on it, like I'm okay with giving another. I started at 1%. I've just bumped it up a little bit more, and I could tell that there's more traffic.
Nice.
When I do it. Yeah.
Nice. And do you also do like for the watchers, right? Like, so you have some older stuff that, like you said, like your inventory's been sitting there. Do you do like send the offer now? Like, you know?
Yeah. I've been going hard on those lately too, because it's getting into the summertime. It's slowing down a little bit. So I used to like wait, like especially if it was like a new item that I put up there and I had some watchers, I just wait. I'm like, okay, I'll get full price on it. But now like I'll take a few bucks off of it if I want to get it the next day. Like, and if it's an old item, I'll give them a super deal. I'm like, just get out of here, because I want to take that money and reinvest it. Yeah, go get something else.
Nice.
Was there ever? Go ahead.
I was gonna say, what's the most frustrating part about selling on eBay, and what do you think eBay should work on to make it better, or the platform better?
The most frustrating is not immediate payment. Like, so if you make an offer to someone, or if someone is bidding on an item, eBay doesn't require like them to like put money up front on anything. So if someone came in to me and said like, hey, said, I'll pay $25 for that, and I accept it, I close that deal, I still have to wait for them to pay me, come back in and pay me. Other systems will hold it. Like if you're selling like through Poshmark and Mercari and like those ones, they hold like all your banking information and be like, okay, it's deal. You already agreed to this. Now the money's transferred. But eBay doesn't do that. And they've been, a platform for almost like 25 years, something like that, 30 years. They still haven't done that. It's something that they should be doing. And I know like people that sell auctions and do a lot of best offers, that really hurts them, because you'll just get non-paying ones. And it may be an item that you knew you could have flipped to someone else.
Right.
pretty quick as well. And so you're just held up for like 6 days before you could like list that one again.
Yeah.
But I know they made a change just recently. They announced like after like 2 days, you can now cancel that order for like non-payment and not get a ding or anything,
And then resell it.
and relist it earlier.
Yeah.
But they still need to fix the main issue, which is, you know, collect the payment information. And
Do you like the eBay payment system, or did you prefer the PayPal right in your account?
yeah, I'm fine with either way. Like I liked the money right away in PayPal. But for me, since I sell 5 to 10 items usually a day, like I'm fine with getting one payment like 2 days later, like
Right.
on there. And it makes it a lot more easier for me for accounting purposes, because I got like one payment coming in, and until that payment comes, like all my shipping costs are deducted out of it, so I don't have to worry about like all these different transactions going back and forth and what they're linked to. I'm like, I'll just say, hey, this is my like lump transaction for the day, and just call it a day right there.
Is there a software that you use to like because that's another important part, right? You're selling all these items, but now, you know, Uncle Sam is at your door, right? They want to know how much you're making. Do you keep like all the receipts, all your what do you call it, your shipping supplies, everything? Like, or you have like an office or somewhere where you just store that just in case you get audited and stuff?
Yeah, I put all my receipts in like one box. Like for each year, I'll have a box that I'm just throwing all my receipts in. But I use Quickbooks for my accounting software, and especially since I do so much thrift store type buys or sometimes retail arbitrage buys, I have a separate bank account for my business, and I just use a debit card for that for all my purchases. So everything is like electronically captured. And so I just go into QuickBooks, it's all linked up to it, and just mark those transactions and classify them the right way. And if I have a cash transaction, then I have to go in there and like make a separate entry. But everything, like all my receipts are off to the side. But for I think for a majority, especially for resellers, like we don't make enough money that they're going to come and look at receipts. Just as long as like you're not like cheating them, they could tell like, you know, hey, okay, your profit seems like the right amount. I just keep the receipts to the side. Like I have like the last few years of receipts in each in a box, but I'm never worried about them coming back for them. As long as I just got my QuickBooks going.
Okay, cool. So kind of just a shift, right? I saw you on YouTube. What made you go on YouTube? What made you say, hey, I want to grow on YouTube? I think you started what, like 8-9 months back, right? When you started.
Yeah, I started I think maybe July of last year or something like that, late July.
Yeah. And then August. you've hit over the 1,000 mark. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Right.
Thank you.
So how is that? Like you just felt like I need to give free game, because when I saw your thing, there was no course, no Discord, no sign up for this. It was just you giving game on your experience, and you know, it was pretty dope. So
yeah, I for one, I was, you know, the grind of reselling full time is you're just doing the same thing over and over and over again, and you're by yourself when it comes to it. Unless like for me, like I have like a good group of people like locally when I go to different stores. Like I'm good friends with a lot of other resellers that are around here. But that's my community right there, is just other resellers. And by just doing that day in and day out, sourcing and listing and shipping, all that stuff, it gets to a grind. And I just need to do something that's a little more creative, just be able to put something out there. I come from a family of educators. It was odd that I didn't go into teaching or anything like that. So like being able to share stuff is always something I like to do. Like my previous job, I did a ton of like webinars, like training like salespeople on stuff. So I was comfortable doing that. And really just I wanted to just try something out. Like I was bored and I wanted to share it. And I never expect to make any money when it comes to it. Like, you know, hitting 1,000 being monetized is great, but that's not what I expected. As you said, I don't have any courses or anything like that. I don't have a Discord. Everything I have is free, right? It's, you know, you come and watch it, you know, that's your effort, and my effort's just making the video. Like I don't expect anyone to pay on it. at this point in time. And I don't expect, like, if I put anything out there, it's going to be, if I put like a course or something, it would still be free for someone out there as well.
Dope stuff, man. And how has that been? Like, did you look at other resellers? Like, I know there's Rally Roots, there's the Craigslist Hunter, all these guys out there. Like, I know that there's a big reseller community, right? Have you guys plugged in with a few of these individuals, or have you guys like networked and stuff?
Yeah. I've been talking with a lot. I talk with a lot of them, especially being on Instagram, right? You connect with a lot of them there, and then once you make a video, it's like your biggest support group is probably the other ones making videos to start out with when it comes to it. And it's a great community. Like, I got a challenge that I'm working with 5 other people that we're going to be doing. It'll be dropping in probably about a week or so. I think it's a week from Monday. It'll be coming out where we're each like sourcing stuff and seeing how we're doing with different categories. And it's just fun to try different things and meet different people. And it keeps you like you on your toes. And I just like learning new stuff as well. So it's been helping my business out. Like, I feel like I'm more accountable to my business because I made a channel. So I'm like, hey, I gotta do what I'm saying. And a lot of times when I'll teach something, it's because I've made that mistake and I want someone to learn from it. And then if I repeat it and I teach it, that it helps like ingrain it inside myself as well by saying that.
Nice. Well, man, thank you for coming on. Jay, did you have any more questions for Steve?
No, I mean, he pretty much covered everything.
Was precise and as clear and simple as possible. Plug them in, Steve, where they can find you, your YouTube channel, your Instagram, all that good stuff.
Yeah, I'm mainly on YouTube and Instagram. I think I have like other social media accounts, but I never use them. Resale Dojo for both. No spaces on Instagram, just straight Resale Dojo, and then Resale Dojo on YouTube as well.
Dope.
Yeah. You got anything else, Rich?
No, I'm good.
All right, cool. So we'll have the Steve's channel in the description following this video. But we want to thank Steve for coming on. We definitely learned a lot. If you haven't already, hit the thumbs up and go subscribe to Steve's channel. He drops a lot of good stuff, and we're super thankful that you came on.
Yeah,
thanks for having me.
Yeah, we want to remind everybody tonight, 8 o'clock, we're going live with Barack. He is the Zone's boxing anchor. So make sure you come back tonight, 8 o'clock p.m., 5 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. And so we'll see you on the next episode of the Chop Shop, whenever that is. So thanks.
Peace.